best way to never get bored studying the Bible? I kind of mentioned it before, but not in detail. So I talked about how I have this little 37-cent notebook from Walmart, 3x5 memo book, and I write down verses I want to look up on a topic. So I can get these verses by listening to a sermon like in church or online. I do this in two ways. So when I get verses from YouTube, just find anything that you want to think about. Like, are you having an anxious day? If you're having an excited day, you could look up excitement or happiness or joy. If you're worried about something, you can search worry, then just add Bible sermon. And you don't have to watch all of these sermons. I used to worry, like, am I going to like this? Do I really want to devote 46 minutes of my time to somebody I've never listened to? No, I absolutely don't want to do that. But look what this person does. They have a verse right in the title of their video. And then again, I don't know if this is even showing up, but another Bible verse right there. And then I go over to Reddit or any forum you can find where people are talking about Bible verses by topic. I'm going to skip the 1 Kings 20 because they didn't give me a specific verse and I don't feel like reading the entire chapter. Let's go to Matthew. I heard at least 3 people online reference Matthew 6. Of course. This is a good passage to read about. So I'm going to highlight, I really like when Jesus is saying that here's how people are worrying. They're saying, what shall we eat? What shall we drink? What shall we wear? And he's saying how trivial those things are. What really matters, he's saying, is the kingdom. Seek first his kingdom, God's kingdom, and God's righteousness. So the solution to anxiety isn't just don't worry. It's actively spending that energy on something bigger and more important. And you won't have room for that stuff. Like, not only will it be easier to not worry, you'll naturally be filling that time in, which is more important than stopping doing something, is starting doing something else. Like in my life, anytime I want to make a positive change, it's about adding something to my life, not stopping doing something else. So I'm going to write a note in here about seeking God to avoid worrying about other things. I'm going to use some stickers. This is that sticker book I showed y'all my mom got me, Cottage Core. So, cute little house, some flowers, and a butterfly. So seek God and also find. So after finding something I like, I do a little Bible study journaling page. So I put seek God and also find Matthew 6:24-34. I paraphrased what I wanted to hear when I read in this little book and I'm not in the Bible. When you seek first God's kingdom and righteousness, you'll be taken care of by God, and worries like, what shall I eat? What shall I drink? What shall I wear? Will not have space to live in your heart. And then I can go on with this topic over here as well. If I wanted to, I could continue down this list, but I'm glancing ahead over here into chapter 7 of Matthew. I'm already over here, and I see ask, seek, knock. And this is a repeating theme of what we've just learned, which is seek God's kingdom and righteousness. And my title, just happens to be seek God, and that's just kind of funny. Seems like it's meant to be that I read chapter 7 as well and take notes in here on chapter 7. This is often what happens when I use this style of study, is I don't always look up all the verses on here. Eventually I will, but not all in the same day. As soon as I'm in a passage that really grabs my attention, I usually will read a chapter, a full chapter or two. So that's how I never get bored of reading the Bible. It kind of has 3 parts to it. The first is just examine what emotion I'm in the moment. The second is seek out passages that also have that emotion or talk about that emotion, whether good or bad. And then the third is, you saw, I just take notes. If I am going to make a cute little page in my notebook, I'm motivated. I want to put stickers on paper every single day of my life. So knowing that I'll have a reason to write a cute quote. And usually I don't paraphrase, I'll just write the entire scripture. So I'm just writing God's words. Today I paraphrased it, and that's good too. Paraphrasing helps you remember things better and internalize them. But yeah, that's my system. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great day and a great Bible study, and I'll see you next time.